Today I'm going to be sharing with you the greenhouse, what's going on in here, what we've got in the vegetable garden, some sowings, some late autumn leaf collections and ideas for using those, composting, and of course a recipe. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing, and thanks as always. I'm in the greenhouse today, and these are the paper white daffodils that I started off about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the hyacinth bulbs that I'm forcing because I want them for the Christmas table, and they will fill the house with scent. It's not too late to do this yourself as well, and there are plenty in the shop still available. These spring onions, white Lisbon variety, are ready to plant out in the kitchen garden, and then I'm also going to sow some more of these, so I've just got a succession of growing. Spring onions are pretty frost hardy, so they'll quite happily grow throughout the winter months. They'll be a bit slower, but they'll be happy enough. Now I'm here in the garden, I can see just how many spring onions I have still growing in the vegetable patch. I've always got seeds that I've sown for spring onion, whether it's the white or a pink or purple variety, and they really do just produce all year round. They can be sown individually or they can be sown in groups. They can also be direct sown or they can be transplanted. So they are really versatile and another crop to keep as a cover crop over the winter. The garden's really starting to change now, and a big indicator for that is the leaves. In my garden there's a beautiful big sycamore tree that's shedding its leaves from next door, and then I have the fruit trees that are all shedding at the moment as well. It's one of the jobs that I actually really enjoy doing. It's such a mindful activity to just sweep the leaves up. These rakes are great at just lifting the leaves off the ground without taking too much from anything underneath. And of course, I always have the site supervisor checking to make sure that I'm doing a good job. I use these leaves in a variety of different ways in my garden. First of all, they are a brilliant carbon or brown that you can add directly to the compost. I know some people say that you should rot them down first for a year. I've found actually that I never have any issues with leaves degrading and kind of breaking down in my compost over really less than 6 months, but my compost bins do run quite warm, so that's possibly why it's quite quick to biodegrade and break down. The other great use for leaves is to create leaf mould, and this is a product, an end product that you use as a potting compost or a seed compost. And what you do is you just place the leaves in a container or a bag, preferably something that has got a few holes in the bottom of it. And an ideal time is to rake the leaves up when they're a little bit wet and not too dry. And then you leave them for a period of time, usually a year, sometimes longer, depending on the volume of leaves that you have. And at the end of it, you get this rich, what looks like a sort of compost, but a lot less nutrients in it. So leaves don't have a huge amount of rich nutrients as such. But what it does mean is it makes a really good seed compost, or you can add it to a homemade compost as a mix at the end of it. And it just creates a good amount of drainage, and it's nice and light and fluffy, and it really does smell amazing once it's made as well. And the last way of using your leaves is to just put them directly on your beds. So it protects plants over the winter, creates a layer of warmth, can protect things like dahlia tubers, and it also creates a habitat which increases the biodiversity in your garden. I'll be raking these up for the next few weeks now, and it gives me another excuse to be out in the garden too. These 3 trays of Foxglove seedlings are growing along brilliantly. They're all in individual sort of plug plant bottoms, and I can either plant these out now in the winter and they'll die back down and overwinter and then come back in the spring, or I can keep them in the cold frame or in the greenhouse and then plant them out directly in the spring. They've got quite big root systems on them, so I'm tempted to get some of these in the grounds. Maybe I'll do half and half. And then it'll be a little bit of an experiment to see which ones do better. I'm going to put these plants underneath the apple tree, and I'm going to use the dibber to create holes to drop each of the plug plants into. Foxgloves love dappled shade, so I'm hoping that under the apple tree is a good position for them. All of the leaves that are on the ground should also provide a little bit of frost protection, and because they've got good sturdy root systems already and plenty of leaves, I'm hoping that these won't be too damaged by frost and that they'll survive over the winter as well. Foxgloves are biannuals, so the plant is created in year 1 and all of the root growth, and then year 2 they send up a big tall flower spike, which is native, is a purple colour, but you can buy lots of different varieties in different colours now, and the bees absolutely love them. They're a really popular English cottage garden flower, and I've always been a huge fan. I just think they have so much structure and height, and they're just absolutely beautiful. Autumn continues to be a great time for composting. I had these really thick boxes that came for the house, and they were too thick for me to really cut up. So one of the great tips I received a long time ago is to leave them outside, let them get damp, and then they just completely soften and are easy to split and easy to rip up. But also it means that you can take the tape off of them. It just literally pulls away from the cardboard itself rather than having to try and do that when it's dry. Cardboard is a brown material, it's carbon, so it works great layered with the grass cuttings. I've got a heap on the side here, and it also is great with all of the spent plants that I'm pulling out of the vegetable patch and the flower patch at the moment. This dahlia is variety Karma Yin Yang, and it's been in the ground now for 3 years, and this has definitely been the best summer yet. So they really do start to get bigger and produce more and more flowers every single year as the tubers grow. I haven't rooted this and I haven't dug the tuber out, I've left it in the ground, but I give it a really good mulch every single year. It also has an excellent stem life in a vase of about 7 to 10 days. I've paired this with echinacea, some salvia pink lips, and then a chocolate cosmos, which together just bring out the colours of the dahlia. Back in the summer, I was given this gift of a beautiful butter churner, and it's something that I've wanted for a long time but just hadn't got round to buying and just thought was a little bit frivolous, so to have it as a gift was absolutely brilliant, and it's been a game changer for homemade butter. To make the butter, you first of all add cream. Now this should be double cream, and it should always be at room temperature because it churns much more quickly when it's warmer. And then the churn has the handle on the side and a handle on the top to hold, and it is just a case of a little bit of elbow grease. After 3 or 4 minutes, the butter product starts to separate from the buttermilk. It goes a little bit stiff on the handle, and then all of a sudden you feel this sort of release where the two split, and this is where you end up with the two different products. Now, because the cream was warm, we want to cool down the butter product now so that it doesn't melt. So that's going to be put into a bowl of iced water. And then I'm just pouring off the leftover liquid, which is the buttermilk, to save that for pancakes or for soups, or for making scones and other really delicious dishes. This kilner set also came with wooden paddles, so that helps just to scrape the butter off into the iced water. And then you're going to bring all of the butter together into one firm lump. And then what I'm trying to do now is just squeeze out any excess buttermilk. So the more buttermilk that you can get out of the butter, the longer the shelf life of the product. And the butter will last in the fridge for a fair few weeks. And of course, out of the fridge, slightly less, but is much softer to spread. Now I like my butter salted, so I am just spreading this onto some greaseproof paper, and then I'm adding some rock salt, but you can also add herbs from the garden, you can add garlic, chilies, anything really that you can think of, cinnamon for pancakes, some cocoa, and this butter, you know exactly where the ingredients are from. It's got no preservatives in it, and if you want to freeze it, you can, or it can, as I say, store in the fridge or on the kitchen side. I'm just finishing this off into shape with the paddles, putting it in a butter dish, and then it's finished.